You know, I've always said when it comes to Halo news, it's always better straight from the source, or at least most of the time. But today, unfortunately, whilst there's no official news, there is a strong industry insider called Cobril who has come out with some quite bold claims about big team battle in Halo Infinite that would definitely shake up how we perceive this mode and its history. The tweet has since been deleted, and we'll discuss potentially why that might be the case in a moment. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Ultimate Halo.
Hey up lads and lasses, Fletch here from Ultimate Halo. If you like Halo news, or just Halo in general, for goodness sake, click subscribe. Or is it there? Click subscribe. It's right there. First of all, take this with a tiny pinch of salt. Industry insiders are great sources of news and information, but at the same time, we can't take their word as gospel because it might be outdated. Things change a lot throughout video game development cycles. And with the tweet also being deleted, it could mean one of two things: that he's been contacted to say, it's kind of correct, we don't want that information out there just yet, so can you delete? Which is kind of pointless now anyway, because we're here. Or he's been contacted to say it's false, so maybe you shouldn't have that. We don't want to veer away from people's expectations and mislead them in any sense. But normally, he's a good, reliable source of information, and he has got a very good track record. I can vouch for that personally from what I've seen from him on Twitter in the past. So the way he describes it personally, these are using his words, this is Big Team Battle 2.0, and one of the things he mentioned was massively enhanced vehicular action. Now, I am completely on board with that. I think Halo games in recent years, from perhaps Reach onwards, have had really weak vehicular combat. There's been too much focus on things like Spartan abilities and armor abilities, and I think that's detracted massively from having a vehicle. So particularly in Big Team Battle, especially in Halo 5, it just didn't seem to quite fit for me personally. So I'm really glad that's going to be a thing. How that's going to be incorporated, I'm not sure. One thing I would really love to see is the elephant from Halo 3, or something similar. There needs to be some sort of big team vehicle, and that's why I'm also a big fan of the Falcon. Now, the Hornet in Halo 3 was a really fun vehicle to use, but it was more of a one-man show. It didn't matter that you had two guys on the sides of you, it doesn't make a difference. But with the Falcon, you are forced to use teamwork because one man drives and two people start to use the turrets, which is a great fun, and you rely on that for really good gameplay moments. The next thing he said was squad spawning. Now, at first I thought squad spawning, well, I got thinking of Battlefield straight away, because in Battlefield what you can do, it will show you an above the map view of what is going on, and it will show you where your teammate exactly is and where they're going. After a while, if you want to, or if you want to spawn on another area, you can, but you can select to spawn on your teammates. So this could potentially imply a couple of things. So first of all, the maps are going to be huge. Squad spawning relies on isolated encounters throughout separate areas of the map. You couldn't have a map, let's say the size of Sandtrap from Halo 3, and have squad spawning, because the problem there is you're going to flip spawns a lot, you're going to have a lot of people jumping into each other or getting spawn killed quite regularly, so the maps are going to have to be large to facilitate for such a feature to exist in the first place. It also implies that you're going to be a part of another squad, so there's going to be separate squads in part of the larger team. And I think for those who don't necessarily have a full squad of friends they can play a full big team battle match with, and they just want to go in with 4 friends and play BTB, I think that's a great way to facilitate lots of people who don't necessarily have lots of friends who play the game. One of the other things is also incoming Pelican drops. Now, when you think about it, let's say we go with the assumption that maps are going to be huge. Pelican drops would be critical, because really you can't have power positions like you do in current Halo games. In arena matches, weapons and other elements spawn in very specific areas, and you've got to fight for those positions and to hold them until they spawn in. Then that weapon gives you a unique advantage, and it's all based around that type of gameplay. But whereas in massive big team battle type game types, you can't necessarily have that, because once you've held that position, you might not be able to get any upper hand any other way. So Pelican drops dropping weapons, vehicles and other such things would be a great step forward to ensuring that levels can be balanced out a bit more, and you can call things in as and when you need it. That could be a really great tactical choice. So if my team is really up against the wall, if we've got enough points, for example, this sounds a bit like Warzone, but I can then spawn in a tank. Maybe it will incorporate the best parts of Halo 5 Warzone and classic Halo big team battle with new improved elements. He also says many more surprises, but in another tweet which I have grabbed and it is still live, he says Forge is going to be greatly enhanced and expanded upon, and if fans did want to create a battle royale, then there's no reason why they couldn't. So it seems like he has a lot of confidence that the Forge mode is going to be very powerful, which you kind of would come to expect with Halo Infinite being on supposedly on this big new engine. They've invested a lot of time and money into it, so hopefully, who knows, time will tell. For me, this is incredibly exciting. I've always been a big fan of just classic big team battle, especially those based around objective game types. So if this comes out to be true, fantastic news. I'm really looking forward to it, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Big Team Battle 2.0 is the best thing? Would you prefer Invasion? Would you prefer more Warzone? Is Warzone dead now? Let me know in the comments section down below. You can follow me on Twitter at FletchUH, and I will see you next time on the one and the only Ultimate Halo.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.